where we are between the two 4A championship games on this Friday night, where we just watched a first-time state champion be crowned. The Dutch Fork Lady Silver Foxes downed the Orangeburg-Wilkinson Bruinettes 61-29.
Alan, it was absolutely a controlled ball game by Dutch Fork. They came out immediately with a flurry of defense. Orangeburg-Wilkinson looked a little nervous, and they, both teams are young in the roster, but Dutch Fork came out in the scary thing after a big 30-point win. They only lose one starter on this team next year, so Dutch Fork is going to be around for a while.
Yeah,
great outing.
Dutch Fork, of course, they were the region champions over a team that was expected to win another state championship this year, Spring Valley, but Dutch Fork wins the region and then goes on to win the state championship, their first ever under head coach Faye Norris, and they have an outstanding young player named Elena Coates. She's only a junior, 6 feet 4 inches tall. She wore out the Bruinettes inside, but it was the guard play of Dutch Fork that was the difference in the ball game.
Young lady named Denisha Schuler, number 11, the lone senior I spoke about earlier, young lady who's going to go on and play on another level, but she showed what a senior wants to do. She wanted to win going out. Her last game of her career, Denisha Schuler took the game by the throat on both ends of the court and made a lot of key baskets early in the ball game, and it became a blowout early.
And, of course, the blowout, the final score was the largest margin of the night, 32 points, but if not for Vondria Ritter in the first half, it might have been worse, because at the end of the first quarter, it was Dutch Fork 18, Vondria Ritter 4.
Exactly, and it was billed as a battle of the giants. 6'5", Elena Coates, 6'4", Naila Jameson for Orangeburg-Wilkinson, but Naila Jameson Myers, but Vondria Ritter at 6'2", she's the unsung hero. Nobody really talked a lot about her coming into the ball game, but as you spoke earlier, she kept them in the ball game, and in the second half as well, she was the one that kept it respectable. But a valiant outing by Orangeburg-Wilkinson, but just too much Dutch Fork tonight.
Well, Dutch Fork, the Spring Valley team earlier this year, was ranked number 1 all year long, but the Dutch Fork Lady Silver Foxes would not give in. They would not give a quarter to Ann Long's team, and they ended up winning the region, and that was a stepping stone to the first state championship. And it's got to be quite a thrill, Stacy, to be here in the Colonial Life Arena for the very first time in school history. Dutch Fork's not that old of a school, but they come here for the first time and take home this trophy right here.
Exactly. Not even 20 years has the school been up. An offshoot of Irmo High School,
right?
A team whose boys team won the championship last year. And also, a little trivia, Ann Long was the coach that brought them here to the finals and lost about a decade ago, a former Dutch Fork coach, now at Spring Valley High School. So to go past her in the region and go on and win a championship in this particular year has to be very sweet for Dutch Fork.
Absolutely. Dutch Fork, of course, winning the state championship under Ann Long many years ago, or playing for a state championship, not winning it. But Ann Long has won state championships all over the state of South Carolina at different schools, and to beat her to get here and then to win it all, of course, they didn't have to match up with Goose Creek this year either. Goose Creek had been ranked in the top 2 or 3 all year long, but you got to give credit to Goose Creek or to Spring Valley and Dutch Fork for the state championship here at the Colonial Life Arena. We're going to come back and take a look at the game upcoming, the 4A Boys State Championship, and it is going to be a clash of the Titans. Gaffney, South Carolina, taking on Lexington. Coming up right here on the SCHL Network.
Tyler Ryan here with some breaks for less math. You know, some guys are going to give you a 2-wheel brake job. It's going to be about $200. At Brakes for Less, you get brakes on 4 wheels for $99. Let me add this up. A $99 4-wheel brake job is twice the work for half the money. That is the kind of math that just makes sense. Brakes for Less is the only way to stop.
Brakes for Less, 6 locations, including Irmo and Lexington. Ladies, come in on Wednesday and get 20% off. Call 254-STOP.
This is Regine. Her parents taught her about success and the power of a dream. Regine chose Virginia College for cosmetology and got the skills she needed to start her own client list. Today, Regine owns an award-winning hair salon and helps others realize the power of their dreams. Sometimes, success starts when the lessons that change you help you change the world. Virginia College, your success starts here. Call or visit vc.edu.
Unlike a bank, Safe Federal Credit Union never pistol whipped a hermit crab. Unlike a bank, Safe has defeated Chuck Norris in hand-to-beard combat. Almost. Unlike a bank, Safe smells like chocolate. But most importantly, Safe is not for profit and member-owned, so you get lower fees, better rates, more services, and you get to keep more of your money. Unlike a bank. Experience Safe Federal Credit Union, where my membership matters.
What excites me is the opportunity to take the skills I have and to give back to my community.
I care about sparking an interest in science, technology, engineering, and math with the children of today.
It's about stimulating innovation, even in children that don't think they like math or science.
So we get them hands-on, and it's like brains are going. I can almost guarantee you they're thinking way differently about science after we were done with them.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
Coming up, the state championship game of 4A in boys basketball, the Gaffney Indians and the Lexington Wildcats. Everyone enjoy tonight's game.
Look at the flip pass.
All right.
Fire scores. David Frazier. Championship point, Del Toro. That's it. Hillcrest wins. It is Sanders. Sanders pulling away, showing his speed.
For all the best in South Carolina High School League Championship action, both live and on demand, your destination is SCHSL.tv.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect.
Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. Oh, we're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program and participate in the SCHSL network, go to schsl.tv/SBP.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
Greetings from Columbia, South Carolina. This is the Colonial Life Arena on the campus of the University of South Carolina. It is your site for the Class 4A Boys State Basketball Championship as the 24-5 Lexington Wildcats tangle with the 22-5 Gaffney Indians. Packed house here tonight at the Colonial Life Arena, a rematch of the 2010 state championship. Gaffney won that one. Hello, everybody. I am Bert Chantley, joined by Emerson Phillips. And Emerson, 2 years ago, it was Gaffney winning the state championship. This year, Lexington wants the crown.
Sure they do. Great coaching matchup tonight for starters. Birch, Bailey Harris from Lexington has 2 state championship. Mark Huff from Gaffney has won 4. So we got 6 state titles between the 2 coaches. And we'll start talking about Gaffney tonight. We'll get to L.J. Peak, just a 10th grader from Gaffney. He played in that state title game 2 years ago, played well, and now he's one of the premier players in South Carolina. Just a 10th grader, L.J. Peak from Gaffney.
Yeah, he's an all-state selection, averaging 18 points a game for the 6'4" sophomore L.J. Peak, who played in the state championship as an 8th grader back in 2010. He gets some help, though. He's got Kobe McDowell, Quinshaw Davis, another great player, the 6'4" senior, Michael Wright, and Kerry Williams. That's your starting lineup for the Gaffney Indians. Well, we talked with head coach Mark Huff, who is a coaching legend here in the state of South Carolina, and here's what he has to say about this big game here tonight.
Well, I just told them I felt like we had earned the right to be here, and for them to go out and just play basketball. That's what they do. They're basketball players. I'm a basketball coach. We're not asking them to do anything that they haven't been doing, some of them their whole life. Just to go out there and have fun and play the game that you love, and we'll let the chips fall where they may.
On the other side of the court, the Wildcats of Lexington High School winning the lower state championship playing in the state championship again since the first time since 2010, going up against these Gaffney Indians, and they are led by Shaq Rowland, who is a talented athlete all around.
Shaq Rowland, probably best known as Mr. Football in South Carolina this past year, but he's Lexington's all-time leading scorer in basketball with better than 1,700 career points, averages 18 points a night. He is a South Carolina Gamecock football commitment.
Yeah, Shaq Rowland, 18 points a game, 6 rebounds, and he gets some help as well. Joby Glemp, we're waiting to see if he's going to be a game-time decision. He injured a knee last week. Sam McDermott, Shaq Rowland, Nigel Gates, and Taquan West. That's your starting lineup for the Lexington Wildcats, who are led by a coaching legend in Bailey Harris. He's been there forever for Lexington. We talked to him moments ago to see what he told his team about tonight's big game.
Well, this is something we've been focused on since the end of last season. We came into the season at preseason #1, so big bullseye on us. We've been to the Final Four the last 3 years. We were at the state championship game 2 years ago. So this is definitely something that they've been aiming for, striving for, working for, and get an opportunity to realize their goals today.
All right, Emerson, we've got 2 great coaches here in Columbia to see who's going to win this state championship between Gaffney and Lexington. 2 great teams, a lot of athletes on this floor here tonight. It's going to be fun, and it's a packed crowd here at the Colonial Life Arena.
I'm guesstimating 10,000 on hand right now at the Colonial Life Arena in Birch. Gaffney, Lexington, about as good as it gets in high school basketball here in South Carolina. Terrific athletes on the floor for this game. This matchup will take place above the rim.
It certainly will. For Gaffney, they're the upper state champs. This is how they got to the state championship. They knocked off Malden in the first round, easily in the second. Irmo, the defending state champs, in the third round, and then winning against the Dorman Cavaliers in the upper state championship. Let's take a break. Here in Columbia, this is the SCHSL Network. Look at the flip pass. Here comes Lee. Lee, one-on-one. Fire, scores.
From the acute angle. David Frazier.
Championship point, Del Toro. That's it. Hillcrest wins. It is Sanders. Sanders pulling away, showing his speed.
For all the best in South Carolina High School League Championship action, both live and on demand, your destination is SCHSL.TV.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program and participate in the SCHSL network, go to SCHSL.TV/SBP.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
We're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the
Well, folks, here in South Carolina, we've got talent on the court and on the playing field. But Emerson Boyd, we've got some talent off of it as well, as a beautiful rendition of the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, getting the crowd on its feet here at the Colonial Life Arena. It is a packed house. This is going to be a whale of a ball game as the Gaffney Indians taking on the Lexington Wildcats. This is going to be nothing but straight up fun.
Birch, tradition here in South Carolina to play the basketball championship games in Columbia. Used to be at the old Carolina Coliseum across the street. They have moved here to the brand new Colonial Life Arena, and when you think about state championship basketball weekend at the high school level in South Carolina, you think about all the great players that have come through and played in this weekend in years past. You think about Raymond Felton now playing in the NBA. You think about Rodney Taylor, the great game that he had for AC Flora back in 1986. You think about B.J. Mackey winning a state title for Irmo High School before he went on to become the all-time leading scorer at the University of South Carolina. Memories rekindled for the Weekend of Champions basketball style.
Well, let's introduce our players here at the Colonial Life Arena. Here's Lexington first.
Rolling. Starting at guard, a senior, number 4, Sam McDermott. Starting at guard, a senior, number 15, Jake Edelson. Starting at forward, a junior, number 24, Nigel Gates. Starting at center, a senior, number 44, Quan West. The Wildcats are coached by Bailey Harris, assisted by Joey Reed, Rick Bucknight, and Ben Lee. And now for your home team, Gaffney. Starting number 10, L.J. Peak. Number 11, a junior, 5'11", Cody McDowell. Number 14, a senior, Quinshawn Davis. Number 22, a junior, Michael Wright. Number 31, a junior, Kerry Williams. Gaffney's coached by Mark Huff.
Underway, Gaffney and Lexington and Emerson Boy. Is this atmosphere here at the Colonial Life Arena electric?
Birch, I'll tell you what, if you can't get excited about this game, you just don't like high school sports, you don't like basketball. That's all there is to it. We have got 2 future Division I college football players starting in this game tonight. Number 3, Shaq Rowland from Lexington will play for the Gamecocks next year. And also Quinshawn Davis from Gaffney will wear number 14 in white. He is a future North Carolina Tar Heel. In fact, Quinshawn Davis named First Team Sports Illustrated High School All-American for football. Just yesterday, he received that award. He's also South Carolina's Football Gatorade Player of the Year. 25 touchdowns and 2,000 receiving yards for Davis. And he and Rowland, really 2 of the more electric players in South Carolina this past high school football season. Tonight, we get it on the hardwood.
And Shaq Rowland controls the tip for the Lexington Wildcats over to Nigel Gates. And we are underway here from Columbia. Jack Edelson, who is a game-time starter, taking the place of Joby Glimp, who will not play tonight, we understand, because of an injury suffered in the lower state championship. That game, which was played in Florence at the Civic Center here on the SCHSL network. McDermott is there to take the loose ball. They went through the fingertips of Shaq Rowland. Actually, that's Edelson. Edelson driving in, finds a lane, and puts it in. First points scored tonight. Count them for the Lexington Wildcats, and watch.
Look at the 2 big men from Gaffney getting off the floor after that head fake by Edelson.
And there's Kerry Williams with the answer for the Gaffney Indians, and we're even at 2 apiece, just underway. Shaq Rowland will dish off to Sam McDermott. McDermott, the 6'3" senior guard, averages 8 points, 3 assists a game for Bailey Harris and the Lexington Wildcats. Nigel Gates with the feed inside to Quan West. Quan West, who was at Batesburg-Leesville High School until his senior year, had to transfer to Lexington for his senior year, and he is playing in a state championship. His first time playing in a Lexington Wildcat jersey. Lexington in the blue with the yellow trim. Gaffney in the white. There's a look at Bailey Harris and that famous towel. We'll see that draped over his shoulder all night long.
Bailey Harris always got the towel draped over the right shoulder when you're at a Lexington High basketball game.
Gaffney, that's Kobe McDowell. Over to L.J. Peak, bottom of your screen. Back to McDowell, top of the key.
Bottom of your screen, Birch. Peak being guarded by Shaq Rowland.
That's probably what is going to happen all night long. 2 of the best players on the court going mano a mano. Gaffney kind of bottled up over there on the far sideline. Michael Wright, but he gets it away.
Birch, both teams played rather sluggish in the last round. Low-scoring games. Gaffney.
Wonderful pass there from Kobe McDowell to the knifing Quinshot Davis coming in baseline. Nobody saw him except McDowell, and we're tied again 4 apiece.
I should say, as great as the athletes are on this team, we don't expect a game in the 70s or 80s or really even in the 60s. Gaffney is giving up 55 points a game this year. They'd love to see a game in the 50s. They beat Dorman 55-47 last week at the Bilo Center in the Upper State Championship game.
Gates with a little right-handed floater, not there. Rebound fought for, and it's going to be out of bounds. What an athletic play by Shaq Rowland.
Smart play by Rowland. He just tapped it off of Kobe McDowell. Here's the pass from McDowell to Quinshot Davis.
The presence of mind of Shaq Rowland in the air and to just tap it off the body of the Gaffney player to keep it alive for the Lexington Wildcats. West thought about the shot. Now Shaq Rowland, straightaway 3. No. Rebound goes to Quinshot Davis. Davis on the right to left dribble, brings it into front court, and we'll toss back to Kobe McDowell, the 5'11 junior point guard. L.J. Peak thought about a long-range shot, decided against it. Now McDowell wants one. No, too strong off the glass, and the rebound is controlled by Quan West for the Lexington Wildcats.
Quan West, a 6'4 senior, doing a great job to box out and get position for that rebound. He plays on the Lexington football team also. Very good football player, tight end, wide receiver.
McDermott on the handle. Floating down to the bottom of your screen, gives off to Shaq Rowland. Rowland being checked now by Quinshot Davis. Man-to-man defense for the Indians. Rowland wants a rotation. Gets the pick from West, but Davis goes right around it. Driving in, Shaq Rowland. Beautiful play on the spinning move in the lane for Shaq Rowland to get his first points of this ball game.
With the left hand, Birch able to spin, a pirouette move, bought him some space in that very crowded lane, and he scored it with the left hand down low.
Davis loses the handle. McDermott comes up with it for Lexington, and that's going to be a foul on L.J. Peak, I believe. Let's take another look here. Emerson, watch Shaq Rowland. Just the athletic ability this young man possesses.
Right, they tried to double him, and he spun away from the double team to score with the left hand. Rowland, an inside-outside player. He can attack the basket. He can score from outside. He's a good three-point shooter. Markoff trying to win Gaffney's 6th state championship. And if Gaffney can win tonight, it will be the 5th state title for Coach Huff.
There's a whistle. And possession will go to Gaffney here with 4:07 remaining in the first period. Wildcats leading by a deuce, 6-4.
15 years at Gaffney for Markoff. Birch, you think about, the big name coaches in South Carolina. You start with Markoff and Bailey Harris. I would certainly include Tim Whipple from Irmo.
L.J. Peak launches a 3. Rebound is taken in by Michael Wright for Gaffney. They'll keep it alive. They'll work it inside. That one pops out, and the rebound goes to the Lexington Wildcats with Sam McDermott.
Rowland partially blocked that last shot down low.
There's a long shot by Nigel Gates, not there, and Quinshaw Davis jerks down the rebound for Gaffney. LJ Peak driving baseline on Shaq Rowland, and Rowland, a little reach-in foul there on LJ Peak.
Yeah, and that's where Peak is dangerous. He's really a slasher. He loves to go to the basket. Peak had a couple of dunks at the Bilo Center that really brought the crowd to their feet. Substitution, Littlejohn into the game for Gaffney. That's Keenan Littlejohn, 6'4", senior, number 15.
And checking in for Lexington, number 40, Ryan Kiot. Kiot comes in for the Wildcats, and there's a three-point bomb by LJ Peak. Boy, Gaffney takes the lead, 7-6.
Gaffney's first lead, and if Peak is able to get going from outside, that really opens up his ability to drive.
McDermott will toss it right side over to Jalen Cook, who just checked into the game for the Wildcats. Cook on the left-handed dribble, being guarded by Quinshaw Davis. Now Cook thought about a jumper, decided against it. Now he'll float into the lane. Little right-hander, not there. Kuwait coming in for the rebound, but he couldn't handle it. Gaffney has it. LJ Peak going the distance, no. And a whistle as Keenan Littlejohn came flying in.
Over the back call on Littlejohn.
There's Bailey Harris. He's got the towel in the mouth now. Here's LJ Peak.
He getting such a great look. Banked it a little strong, and you see Littlejohn going up the back of Jack Edelson trying to get that rebound. So good call by the officials.
Shaq Rowland lost the handle. I think LJ Peak may have swatted that out of the hands of Rowland. Now LJ Peak spinning in the lane. No, Edelson, or McDermott rather, for Lexington comes away with a rebound. And now Edelson between the legs, tosses right side. And that's Edelson drawing the foul. Now checking in for the Wildcats is Bush Brunson, the big 6'5" senior, coming in off the bench. So Brunson, Kiot, McDermott, Jalen Cook, and Shaq Rowland on the floor now for Lexington. Cross-court pass by Rowland, too tall for Jalen Cook, and it will be Gaffney basketball. Gaffney has McDowell, Wright, Ron Best, number 24, Keenan Littlejohn, and T. Hardy on the court. Shaq Rowland almost picked the pocket, but Wright is able to recover. Minute 48 remaining. Tight ball game. Gaffney leading by 1, 7-6. Good ball movement here by Gaffney as they work around the perimeter. Wright wanted the cross-court pass. Now pushes it to the top of your screen over to Kobe McDowell. Now they find T. Hardy over there in the corner, top of your screen, left wing. Good defense by Lexington. Driving in is McDowell, and he is going to be whistled for the charge. Ryan Kiot
drew the foul. I'm going to put him on all-hair team also, Birch. You know, he got in position to draw that charge, and he shows up with a beard here at the Colonial Life Arena. That'll get you on the all-hair team.
Jalen Cook will let McDermott bring it into the front court. He flies a pass over to Shaq Rowland, drives in, hangs, no. Rebound, fought for. It's going to be controlled by, looks like Lexington, a mad scrum. Kiot showing great hustle.
Kiot and Best battling for that ball on the floor right there, and good defensive work by Keenan Littlejohn from Gaffney to contest that shot of Shaq Rowland as he floated through the lane.
Possession arrow goes to the Gaffney Indians, so Gaffney with the ball and the lead. 7-6 is your score as Nigel Gates will check back in for Lexington.
Right, we heard prior to the game that Gates had experienced swelling in one of his knees. It just cropped up today. He had practiced all week without incident, and apparently he had swelling in the knee today, and we were not sure that he would be able to go, but state championship game Gates is in there, going to give Lexington what he's got tonight. Lexington already playing without Joby Glimp, who's out with an injury. He suffered a strained MCL in last week's semifinal victory over Aiken at the Florence Civic Center.
Kobe McDowell will work it over to Quinshad Davis just inside the three-point line. Shot is not there. Now Davis spinning baseline, has it batted away by Gates, but Gaffney controls. Head fake there for Ron Best and Gaffney. Indians trying to find an open look. There it is. Well, the shot does not fall down. Rebound collected by Lexington and Jalen Cook. And Cook will clear over to McDermott, who brings it into the front court. McDermott, straightaway three. No. Off the rim. Rebound, fought for. Taken down by Gaffney, but they say Quinshad Davis stepped on the baseline out of bounds, so it will be Lexington basketball. And Shaq Rowland will come back into this game along with Jack Edelson. So a pair of seniors back onto the court. There's those crazy Lexington Loonies. Big crowd here for the Lexington Wildcats. Lexington just about 15 minutes away from the Colonial Life Arena. Gaffney a little bit further at the buzzer. No. And that's going to do it for the first period of action. Tight game. It is Gaffney 7, Lexington 6. Keep it right here. You are watching the South Carolina High School League Network.
Tyler Ryan here with some Breaks for Less math. You know, some guys are going to give you a two-wheel brake job. It's going to be about $200. At Breaks for Less, you get brakes on 4 wheels for $99. Let me add this up. A $99 four-wheel brake job is twice the work for half the money. That is the kind of math that just makes sense. Breaks for Less is the only way to stop.
Breaks for Less, 6 locations, including Irmo and Lexington. Ladies, come in on Wednesday and get 20% off. Call 254-STOP.
This is Regine. Her parents taught her about success and the power of a dream. Regine chose Virginia College for cosmetology and got the skills she needed to start her own client list. Today, Regine owns an award-winning hair salon and helps others realize the power of their dreams. Sometimes, success starts when the lessons that change you help you change the world. Virginia College, your success starts here. Call or visit vc.edu.
Unlike a bank, Safe Federal Credit Union never pistol-whipped a hermit crab. Unlike a bank, Safe has defeated Chuck Norris in hand-to-beard combat. Almost. Unlike a bank, Safe smells like chocolate. But most importantly, Safe is not for profit and member-owned, so you get lower fees, better rates, more services, and you get to keep more of your money. Unlike a bank. Experience Safe Federal Credit Union, where my membership matters.
What excites me is the opportunity to take the skills I have and to give back to my community.
I care about sparking an interest in science, technology, engineering, and math with the children of today.
It's about stimulating innovation, even in children that don't think they like math or science.
So we get them hands-on, and it's like brains are going. I can almost guarantee you they're thinking way differently about science after we were done with them.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
There's a look at the cheerleaders from Lexington High School. Gaffney's cheerleaders as well. Their team leading 7-6. So the Indians up by 1 as we get the second period underway here from Columbia.
Super matchup, Birch. Lexington 25-5, winners of 13 straight coming in. Gaffney at 22-5, winners of 16 of 17 coming in.
There's Shaq Rowland driving in, a little left-handed leaner. And he's going to be whistled for a charge, I believe, there, Emerson.
They did get him for the charge. And I tell you what, last weekend at the Bilo Center, charges outnumbered the blocks 5-1. So I don't know if that's an area of emphasis for high school league officials this year, but we saw an inordinate amount of charge calls last week in Greenville.
Rowland,
State championship.
That is his second foul of the night for the Lexington superstar. Quinshad Davis, nice little feed inside to Quan Weeks. Or check it was actually Kerry Williams with the points. So Kerry Williams taking a sweet little pass from Quinshad Davis, and it's Gaffney by 3 now, 9-6. with 7:18 left to play in the first half.
Coach Huff says Kerry Williams is one of the most improved players on this team at 6'1", 220. Role player for Gaffney, but he can score also.
Jack Rowland has his shot stuffed away as he went into the lane. And it is Gaffney basketball. Quinshot Davis coughs it away, but it's going to be out of bounds off a Lexington player. I believe that was Sam McDermott, who was working on the floor. Got a little piece of it. Here's your first quarter stats, Emerson.
30% from the floor for both teams. Rebounding's about even 4 fouls to 1. Gaffney and Lexington here, so not much settled in that first quarter.
Quinshot Davis inside of a nice pass from L.J. Peak off the perimeter. Good vision by L.J. Peak, seeing the court and seeing the play develop, and excellent ball movement in space by the Gaffney Indians.
So here's Bailey Harris getting a timeout call here. Does not want to let this game get away. We've seen early that points are at a premium in this matchup. So Gaffney takes his largest lead, 11-6, and Coach Harris quickly gets the timeout call.
Well, we asked Coach Bailey Harris what's so special about this year's Wildcats. Here's what he had to say.
This is a group that's got 9 seniors in it that for the most part has been together since they were very young, playing AAU basketball together, come through middle school. You had them split into 2 different groups in middle school, but you know, they've been together for a long time. This group has been friends for a long time and played a lot of basketball together. Several of them were on varsity 2 years ago, and we played Gaffney in the state championship game 2010. Just a great group of kids. It's a lot of fun to work with. It's been together a long time, and will close out a great career today.
Bailey Harris, he established a great motto for his team. Emerson, 1 team, 1 goal, 1 last chance.
All right, they lost in the championship game to Gaffney 2 years ago. Last year they lost in the lower state championship game, or the state semifinals, if you will, to Ridgeview. And this group of seniors has been playing together for Lexington since they were about 11 years old. Rec leagues, AAU ball, and the Lexington High basketball teams as well. So these kids want to wrap up their high school careers with a state championship for Lexington High.
Good ball movement out to Edelson. He wants the 3. Too strong off the back iron, and L.J. Peak snatches down the rebound and feeds it over to McDowell. Bottom of your screen. Now back to Quinshot Davis. McDowell into Quinshot Davis, and Davis puts up a shot in the lane, and he's going to be whistled for a travel.
Travel call. The officials looked at one another to confer on the call, and they both agreed that it was a travel. Birch, Gaffney is on a 7-0 run right now. Lexington led 6-4. Gaffney started that run late in the first quarter, and it continues here in the second. But Lexington's got it back.
McDermott will take it into the front court for the Wildcats. Lexington in blue, Gaffney in the white. Gaffney with the lead here with 6 minutes to play in the half. Jack Rowland backs in. Now a little hanging jumper. No. Rebound collected by Quinshot Davis for the Gaffney Indians.
Tough shot for Rowland. A little spin, a little fall away on the baseline, about a 12-footer with a hand in the face. That's the type of shot Gaffney would like to see Rowland take most of the night.
Quinshot Davis averaging 6 rebounds a game, 12 points. He's picked up a ton of caroms so far. L.J. Peak wants another 3-pointer. This one not there. Rebound, fought for, controlled by Lexington. Fast break for Nigel Gates, and he lays it in on the finger roll right side.
Credit Jalen Cook with the hustle play to come up with that loose ball and quickly pass it ahead to Gates, who scored the layup.
Williams inside has it taken away. Lexington comes up with a turnover. That's what Bailey Harris wanted. A big stop. He got it right there. So Edelson puts the thumb in the air, sets the play, and he'll drift to the bottom of your screen, right? Almost knocks it away. Now Shaq Rowland, open 3 look. Boom! Shaq Rowland snaps the net for 3 points. It's 4:47 left, and it's a tie ball game, 11-11.
Our third tie, and Rowland can really heat it up from downtown. They get him some open looks, and he can fill it up from outside.
Now Gaffney trying to answer. Kobe McDowell launches a 3 and lands. Kobe McDowell answers Shaq Rowland just like that with 4.5 minutes remaining. Gaffney reclaims the lead, 14-11.
Both teams finding their stride offensively here. I mentioned the points were at a premium. It was a 7-6 game at the end of the first quarter, but now both teams starting to heat up.
Rowland thought about the 3. as he's matched up with Quinshad Davis. Rowland gets Quinshad up in the air and draws the foul. That's a smart little play there by Shaq Rowland.
Right, Rowland known as a football player, but watch the basketball acumen. First the play by Cook to save it to Gates. Gates slowed down a little bit to let that defender go by so that he could make the uncontested layup. McDowell barely left the floor. His feet may have come 2 inches off the floor on that shot, the three-pointer for Gaffney, but on this most recent trip for Shaq Rowland, we saw the defender for Gaffney get off the floor. Rowland alertly jumped into the defender while the defender was in the air, and the officials got to call the foul on the defender. That's a heady play by Shaq Rowland, a veteran of the high school game.
Well, he's been starting for Lexington since his freshman year. He and Bailey Harris have developed a special bond, and Shaq Rowland, a real quiet, unassuming young man off the court, but boy, he has a competitive fire inside that is second to none. LJ Peak, bottom of your screen, being double teamed, feeds it over cross court to Quinshad Davis. Davis takes it, spins into the lane. Edelson is there to knock it away.
All
Keot
ball.
Picks it up.
All ball by Edelson. Terrific defense.
14-12. Gaffney leads by 2 as McDermott feeds it over to Shaq Rowland. Little jumper inside the three-point line. Not there. LJ Peak skies in for the rebound. Peak over to right, being guarded by Rowland. Man-to-man defense really being played by both teams this entire game so far. Really have not seen a zone D from either Lexington or Gaffney.
And that ball out of bounds to Gaffney as Kerry Williams leaves the ball game. Keenan Littlejohn back in for the Indians. Quinshad Davis will put it in.
Jumper misses. Keot is there for Lexington, and he quickly pushes it over to Sam McDermott. Shaq Rowland, right to left dribble, fires over to Keot. Keot launches a three off the right iron. Rebound. Shaq Rowland misses the dunk, but Quan West gets the rebound. Not there. Scrum on the floor. Possession arrow will go to Gaffney unless we have a foul called. Now, if Shaq Rowland would have hammered home that dunk, the lid would have popped off of the Colonial Life Arena, at least on that Lexington Wildcat side.
Yeah, and I tell you what, that towel's going to get a real workout if Lexington misses any more dunks. You know, in the state championship game, baskets are hard to come by, and you'd like to think that, you know, you just lay that thing in, make sure you get the 2 points, but Rowland went to the rack strong. He was in position to get the dunk. Not sure what happened right there. He's certainly a very able dunker. We saw him with several dunks in the lower state championship game last week.
Shaq will say the ball was wet. As you see the official getting some moisture off the court. And we've got a great officiating crew working these championships here tonight. As you see the officials taking care of the court. We certainly don't want any injuries, and Mark Huff pointing out that might need to wipe that up.
That's a big turn of events, Birch. You know, that would have tied the game at 14, so the blown dunk will give Gaffney a chance to extend their 2-point lead.
LJ Peak being guarded by Edelson. Peak has been quiet these last few minutes.
Yeah, Peak will try to penetrate this Lexington zone. I think that's one area that he will look to exploit. If Lexington is going to sit back in this 2-3 zone, Peak is the type of athlete, the slasher, the ball handler, the penetrator that can get between the zone, draw the defense, and perhaps open up his teammates if he's unable to go to the basket with the ball.
Quinshad Davis, right block, feeds over to LJ Peak, wants another three, too strong. Kobe McDowell is there for the rebound. McDowell hangs a jumper, no. Rebound goes to Lexington and Jalen Cook.
Cook very quietly has made a couple of nice plays for Lexington. He came in off the bench and he's given Lexington a little bit of a spark. You notice Lexington played a little better since Cook came into the game.
Michael Wright set to check in. Here's a three-pointer. Edelson nails it. Jack Edelson game-time decision to start this ball game, and he fires up the Wildcats as they take the lead 15-14.
Opportunity of a lifetime for senior Jack Edelson from Lexington, starting in place of the injured Joby Glimpf.
And now Gaffney will turn the ball over right in front of the Lexington bench and the Lexington crowd. So Lexington gets the points and the stop. Take a look, beautiful three-shot.
With Quinshad Davis, the future North Carolina Tar Heel football player at 6'4", coming out to defend. Edelson teardropped it right over the top of the outstretched arm of Quinshad Davis.
Edelson finds Jalen Cook near sideline. As Gaffney works a little double team, here's Kiat going baseline, and he's going to be whistled for the travel.
Yeah, Kiat took that pass.
Feet there for Kiat.
Looked at the two defenders, Little John and Quinshad Davis, and hesitated suddenly. He wasn't sure what to do, and that's what drew the shuffle of the feet and the travel call.
Minute remaining in this first half. Kiat makes the most of his minutes, though, Emerson. He will give Bailey Harris everything he has.
There's Kiat. Kiat's playing well tonight. He's on the all-hair team as well.
All right, McDowell, left-handed dribble now to the right. Our officials tonight for this championship, Andy Pope, Edwin Lee, and Lynn Caesar. Andy Pope is our referee. Lee and Caesar the umpires. Doing a heck of a job. Great officiating crew for this weekend of champions. Right-handed dribble now for McDowell, trying to find a little lane, looking for Davis, and there's Kiat on the floor.
Tell you what,
keeping it alive.
These Wildcats don't mind getting on the floor. We've seen Sam McDermott, we've seen Kiat, we've seen a bunch of Wildcats getting on the hardwood trying to come up with loose balls, and that's what it takes to win a championship.
15-14, Lexington playing for the final shot of the half. McDermott trying to drive in, runs into traffic, loose ball. Wright is there to take it away.
Yeah, Wright got pushed, and they'll get the foul call here. I believe they'll get Jalen Cook.
You don't want that with 3 seconds to go in the half.
Neither team in the bonus here, Bert, so really no harm right there. 5 fouls on Gaffney, just 4 on Lexington. A very cleanly played first half of play between two of the biggest schools in South Carolina. Just an outstanding matchup. We got brand name and star power in this matchup tonight.
And an exciting atmosphere in this building. Long pass from Wright, going for Davis, knocked away by Brunson. He'll put up a shot at the buzzer, no. So the first half comes to a close with Lexington ahead by 1, 15-14, in what has been an evenly matched ball game, Emerson, and a lot of fun, even though it is a fairly low score to end the first 16 minutes of play.
A very low scoring game.
To Stacy Huff, who's standing by. Stacy.
Here with Coach Bailey Harris. Coach, you up by 1 point. Talk a little bit about the first half, sir.
Very sloppy, but 1 point lead. Got a lot of things to improve on, but could be in a worse position.
There's Coach Bailey Harris. Congratulations, Coach, for that lead in the first half. 1 half to go toward the championship. He's brief. He got to go talk to his teammates. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, Stacy Huff. Stay right with us here on the SCHSL Network.
Tyler Ryan here with some breaks for less math. You know, some guys are going to give you a 2-wheel brake job. It's going to be about $200. At Brakes for Less, you get brakes on 4 wheels for $99. Let me add this up. A $99 4-wheel brake job is twice the work for half the money. That is the kind of math that just makes sense. Brakes for Less is the only way to stop.
Brakes for Less, 6 locations, including Irmo and Lexington. Ladies, come in on Wednesday and get 20% off. Call 254-STOP.
This is Regine. Her parents taught her about success and the power of a dream. Regine chose Virginia College for cosmetology and got the skills she needed to start her own client list. Today, Regine owns an award-winning hair salon and helps others realize the power of their dreams. Sometimes, success starts when the lessons that change you help you change the world. Virginia College, your success starts here. Call or visit vc.edu.
Unlike a bank, Safe Federal Credit Union never pistol whipped a hermit crab. Unlike a bank, Safe has defeated Chuck Norris in hand-to-beard combat. Almost. Unlike a bank, Safe smells like chocolate. But most importantly, Safe is not for profit and member-owned, so you get lower fees, better rates, more services, and you get to keep more of your money. Unlike a bank. Experience Safe Federal Credit Union, where my membership matters.
What excites me is the opportunity to take the skills I have and to give back to my community.
I care about sparking an interest in science, technology, engineering, and math with the children of today.
It's about stimulating innovation, even in children that don't think they like math or science.
So we get them hands-on, and it's like brains are going. I can almost guarantee you they're thinking way differently about science after we were done with them.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
Welcome back to the Colonial Life Arena in Columbia. We're at the half. Lexington leads 15-14. Let's check in with Stacy Huff and see what he can bring us. Stacy.
We're down here with Principal Melissa Raw from Lexington High School, the Wildcats. Your Wildcats are up by 1 point. You excited?
Oh, yeah. My heart's been pitter-pat all day long, and this is great. We're so happy.
It's going to be like this the whole game, I believe, Ms. Raw. Ms. Raw's going to talk a little bit about some things going on at Lexington High School. Talk a little bit about some of the excitement and programs going on at your school.
Well, first of all, with athletics, we've had a great season so far. Our cross-country team won state. Our girls golf and cross-country girls and wrestling came in second. I hope we get another number one tonight. Academically, our kids have some of the best test scores in this entire state. They're good kids, and we've got a new center opening for academics, and it'll deal with world languages, where we're adding Russian and Portuguese and Chinese, and then a business of world business. So there's a lot going on, In
the interest of fairness, I must say, we did ask Gaffney's principal, Melina Davis, to come on with us. We interviewed her at halftime with a football game, and as you know, Gaffney lost that game to Burns High School. She's superstitious. Gaffney's principal, Melina Davis, did not want to come on with us. So now, speaking of superstitious, what's in your hand right now? Tell us what's in your hand. Show it to us.
I'm superstitious, too.
Show it to us.
We went and ate at the Oyster Bar before we came here tonight, and the woman that owns it gave us some of her cocktail sauce that just won an award, and on the top it says winner. So it is my good luck charm tonight, winner.
And she is holding this thing tight, folks. I cannot take it out of her hands like a rebound. She's taking charge of it, almost like a Shaq rolling rebound. Congratulations for being here. Your community really came out. Talk about the community support for your team.
See those guys over there? Those are the crazies. They have been all night with us. If you pan around, you can see all of Lexington here. It's full of blue. If somebody wanted to rob tonight, Lexington houses are empty because everybody in the town of Lexington's here. I love my community.
And they got an excited principal, too. That'll do it from half court. Principal Rawls, thank you for coming down with us, guys.
All right, thanks so much, Stacy. Yeah, I want what she has. Very exciting to see the great principal for Lexington High School. We're going to take a break. Keep it right with us here in Columbia on the SCHSL Network.
Tyler Ryan here with some breaks for less math. You know, some guys are going to give you a two-wheel brake job. It's going to be about $200. At Brakes for Less, you get brakes on 4 wheels for $99. Let me add this up. A $99 4-wheel brake job is twice the work for half the money. That is the kind of math that just makes sense. Brakes for Less is the only way to stop.
Brakes for Less, 6 locations, including Irmo and Lexington. Ladies, come in on Wednesday and get 20% off. Call 254-STOP.
This is Regine. Her parents taught her about success and the power of a dream. Regine chose Virginia College for cosmetology and got the skills she needed to start her own client list. Today, Regine owns an award-winning hair salon and helps others realize the power of their dreams. Sometimes, success starts when the lessons that change you help you change the world. Virginia College, your success starts here. Call or visit vc.edu.
Unlike a bank, Safe Federal Credit Union never pistol whipped a hermit crab. Unlike a bank, Safe has defeated Chuck Norris in hand-to-beard combat. Almost. Unlike a bank, Safe smells like chocolate. But Most importantly, SAFE is not for profit and member owned, so you get lower fees, better rates, more services, and you get to keep more of your money, unlike a bank. Experience SAFE Federal Credit Union, where my membership matters.
What excites me is the opportunity to take the skills I have and to give back to my community.
I care about sparking an interest in science, technology, engineering, and math with the children of today.
It's about stimulating innovation, even in children that don't think they like math or science.
So we get them hands-on, and it's like brains are going. I can almost guarantee you they're thinking way differently about science after we were done with them.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
Welcome back. We're at the half here in Columbia, the Colonial Life Arena. A very tight game. Lexington leading Gaffney by 1, 15-14. Birch, Antley, and Emerson Phillips with you. Joined as well by Stacy Huff, our courtside reporter. And Emerson, very tight game, but it's been nothing but fun.
7-6, Gaffney led at the end of the first quarter, and now Lexington has taken a 1-point lead here at halftime, 15-14. First team to 30 might win this game, Birch. I figured it would be a low-scoring game. I thought 40s or 50s, but we're looking at, a very low-scoring game, and that's because both teams have been deliberate offensively and willing to take what the defense gives them. Both teams patient offensively as we get a look at a nice lean-in score right there by Quan West from Lexington. This is L.J. Peak, the sophomore from Gaffney, who was named an All-State player this year, one of the top 16 boys basketball players in South Carolina. That was Kobe McDowell to Quinshaw Davis, and here's McDowell from the land of 3.
Well, Shaq Rowland leading all scorers at halftime with 6. Davis with 5 points and 5 rebounds for Gaffney. Emerson, take us through some other first half stats.
7 of 19 from the floor for Gaffney. They improved their shooting in the second quarter, despite the fact that Lexington came back to take this 1-point lead at halftime. You see Lexington 6 of 22 from the floor, a slight rebounding edge to Lexington, and that's a real good sign for them. They knew they would be challenged by this taller Gaffney team tonight. Rebounding has been a bit of an issue at times this year for the Wildcats, so the fact they have a 10-8 edge in rebounding is a very good sign on the stat sheet for them. Turnovers and fouls about even. Birch, we played 16 minutes. We have 16 minutes remaining, and it'll be 16 minutes to decide the 4A boys state championship here at the Colonial Life Arena.
Yeah, we have a great crowd on hand. It's been a lot of fun for the first half. The second half will be fun as well. You won't miss a single shot when we return to Columbia here on the SCHSL Network.
Opportunity to take the skills I have and to give back to my community.
I care about sparking an interest in science, technology, engineering, and math with the children of today.
It's about stimulating innovation, even in children that don't think they like math or science.
So we get them hands-on, and it's like brains are going. I can almost guarantee you they're thinking way differently about science after we were done with them.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
I care about sparking an interest in science, technology, engineering, and math with the children of today. My name is Paul. I work for Time Warner Cable as a network engineer. Working with Connect a Million Minds, I've gotten to see how the minds of a lot of young people work. It's watching the light bulb come on, and you really understand that child just had a spark go off, and you helped create that spark.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
Let's go back down and check in with Stacy Huff. Stacy.
Here courtside with Coach Mark Huff, down a point. It's been a low-scoring game, Coach. What can we expect in the second half?
Well, we just told our guys to try to pick up the tempo a little bit. Let's try to get a few transition buckets. We didn't get any in the first half, so we're going to try to push it down the floor a little bit better this half if we can.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach. That's Coach Mark Huff, Gaffney Indians. We'll see if they can turn it around second half.
All right, thanks so much, Stacy Huff. Great stuff, as always, by our courtside guru, Stacy Huff, working hard. And we are ready to start the second half of action here from the Colonial Life Arena in Columbia. And Emerson, how about the enthusiasm by the Lexington High School principal? And then Gaffney's principal says, nope, I'm superstitious, not going to talk to you.
Yeah, that's right. We broadcast the football championship game. Burns beat Gaffney when Gaffney went into that game undefeated. And so we had a nice conversation with Miss Rawl from Lexington High School, the principal there. And She said it was a great night to be a cat burglar in Lexington because everybody in that community is here tonight. That's a very fast-growing community, a proud community, a fine place to live and raise kids and attend high school. Lexington, obviously one of the biggest schools in South Carolina, and that's an area that continues to grow. Burge White Knoll High School was added over there just a few years ago, and I think there are plans to build another high school in Lexington County very soon.
All right, Lexington switches sides. They'll be moving left to right now. Lexington in the blue, Gaffney in the white. McDermott rises up. Shot misses off the left side, and Quinshot Davis snatches down his 7th rebound of the ball game. L.J. Peak looking for Davis, knifing into the lane. Davis, little left-hander, is there. He got the friendly roll off the rim.
Markoff said they were going to try to pick up the pace of play in the second half, and there's Davis going right to the rim.
Jumper there by Nigel Gates. Buries it from 8 feet away off the right side. Nigel Gates answers, and now driving in is Peak. As L.J. Peak in the first half really kind of kept his game along the perimeter, and now looks like Coach Huff wants him to work more into the paint. And as you see here, the answer by Lexington and Nigel Gates, nice little jump shot.
Yeah, he thought about driving, but decided he could knock down that little 10-footer right there, and that's exactly what he did. So what a tight affair here. Back and forth we go. 3 ties, 4 lead changes. The largest lead for Gaffney has been 5 points. That was when it was 11-6, and Gaffney's led, or Lexington rather, has led by 2 points on 3 occasions. And it's really looking like we may come down to the very end of the 4th quarter before we decide this state championship game.
L.J. Peak makes 1 of 2 free throws, and it's 17-16. A 1-point Lexington lead. Shaq Rowland picks up the dribble, and now over to Edelson. Edelson had 5 points in the first half. Was a late decision to start this championship game due to an injury to Joby Glimpf. And Rowland was looking for the little left-handed quick pass over there to Nigel Gates, and Gates couldn't hang on. As you see, Bailey Harris.
Gates was not anticipating that pass. I think Rowland faked him out, as well as much of the Gaffney defense. It had mustard on it. Gates lost it out of bounds.
So Kobe McDowell over to right, bottom of your screen, left wing. McDowell kicks it out. L.J. Peak. McDermott comes in and gets some help from Gates, and it's Lexington with numbers. McDermott has his pocket picked. Great play by Wright, but he traveled.
That's a good call.
A heck of a play by Wright, and a great call by the official.
Yeah, good call on the travel, but Wright stops the fast break. I thought that ball might have gotten out, but Lexington kept it in, and McDermott went to put it on the floor, and there's Michael Wright to force the steal, but because he lost his footing there and was sprawled out on the floor, it's a correct traveling call, so Lexington keeps the ball. It was looking like a 2-on-1 there.
Over to Rowland. He wants a 3. Misses off the right side, and it's Gaffney on transition again. Markoff said he wanted to see some more transition points. He gets one right there as Wright finds Quinshot Davis cutting in along the baseline. And now it is Shaq Rowland driving in. Rowland, little left-hander, no. Rebound. It's going to go to Gaffney, and a foul committed by Nigel Gates. Watch this nice pass in transition and count the bucket for Quinshot Davis. His first points of the half. He had 5 in the first half.
Lexington may have gone to sleep a little bit defensively right there, and Wright able to jump and bullet that pass inside to Quinshot Davis, who is very effective from that close a range. And then Lexington called for a foul on the other end, going after an offensive rebound, or I should say Gaffney had rebounded and Lexington went for the steal. They were called for the foul. 2 Lexington fouls to none for Gaffney so far early in the second half.
And Lexington almost comes up with a takeaway there. Nigel Gates, good hustle on the play, but a whistle. 5:34 remaining. As you see, Coach Mark Huff, 4 state championships at Gaffney High School, going for his 5th. And, he is a coach that is not only known here in South Carolina, but known nationally as well. Picked up a national award a year ago from the Coaches Association. Here is McDermott, or Edelson rather, picking up the dribble. Now Jalen Cook, who just checked in. Over to Nigel Gates, looking for help, finds it with Edelson, launches a three and lands. Jack Edelson, his second three ball of the game. Now here comes L.J. Peak quickly on offense. The hoop and the harm, put him on the line for the +1. L.J. Peak answering the three-pointer from Edelson. As you see him going strong to the basket.
Peak was able to get by Jalen Cook, and Lexington with Bush Brunson unable to get to the spot in time to deny Peak the baseline drive. He leaned in, scored the basket, drew the foul. He'll get a chance for the three-point play. And, you know, I think we may have a first tonight, Birch. L.J. Peak becomes the first player ever to make the all-hair team twice. We put him on it 2 years ago when he played in this game as an 8th grader. And, of course, he might be the captain of the all-hair team this year, rocking the two-tone tonight.
Lexington quickly into front court. Nigel Gates, a hanging jumper, makes it from about 10 feet away. And we're tied again, 22-22. I believe this is our 4th or 5th tie of the ball game. We've had several lead changes. It was a 1-point game at halftime. We're tied 22-22 here in the third period, 4.5 minutes remaining. L.J. Peak, near sideline at the bottom of your screen. Pushes it over to Kobe McDowell, trying to pick up a screen from Quinshaw Davis. Now Davis drives in and ran into Brunson and Gates, but drew the foul.
Yeah, they got Brunson for the block there, but not a bad foul. You know, Davis really striving to the basket, driving with a sense of purpose right there. And yeah, we talked a lot about Quinshaw Davis as Lexington makes some more subs. Another member of the all-hair team, Ryan Keyot, coming in.
Because of the facial.
Yeah, the facial hair. You notice on Keyot, that's number 40 in blue for Lexington. You know, the haircut is nothing unusual, out of the ordinary, nothing that really stands out, but the beard. Birch, the beard, the Amish beard, at that will get you on the all-hair team. That's the beard with no mustache. Quinshaw Davis, Birch, who drew that last foul, has a 4.1 GPA, and he'll play football in Chapel Hill for the Tar Heels next year.
They'll wave off the shot as McDermott was fouled before going up. And it will not be a shooting foul as Gaffney will inbounds. So McDowell floats over right side of your screen to the top. He's being guarded by Edelson. Now down low to Peak. They'll go cross court over to T. Hardy, who just checked in moments ago. L.J. Peak, a little ball fake. Hangs in the lane and gets his own rebound and tip in. L.J. Peak.
With the left hand, he skied in over everybody and tipped it in.
What a play by L.J. Peak. Continuing on with the play. He knew he didn't have the shot as soon as it left his hands. Skied into the lane and got his own tip in. High off the rim. Here's Edelson going in traffic. A little left-handed scooper is not there, and Gaffney comes away with it. L.J. Peak again, driving in. Boom! L.J. Peak just cut the corner around Sam McDermott and laid in the easy bucket. 4 consecutive points for Peak, and then coast to coast goes Lexington. Jalen Cook, and we've got a timeout on the court. Boy, let's take a look at L.J. Peak right here, Emerson, as he gets the high bounce off the back of the rim.
Nobody boxed him out, Birch. You know, you got to put a body on an athlete like L.J. Peak, and there he is with the tip in right there. Just uncontested, he was able to go to the basket, but that's the athleticism of Peak, and that's why you got to put a body on him every time a shot goes up for either club.
And he's a 6'4", 10th grader who played varsity basketball in the state championship in 2010 as an 8th grader.
Yeah, he was in the 8th grade, and he came off the bench for Gaffney and gave them good minutes in that state championship win over Lexington. So, you know, Peak is a kid we've been hearing about for a couple of years now. He's a 10th grader now, 6 feet 4 inches tall, and was named to the All-State team this year. That's the top 16 players in the state. We have the top 16 for boys and the top 16 for girls. They are the All-State selections, and Peak was one of them, as was Shaq Rowland for Lexington, and that's part of the star power we were talking about for this matchup tonight.
It's Gaffney basketball with the lead by 2, 26-24. 3 minutes remaining here in the third period, and LJ Peak will take it into front court, will drive into the lane, and LJ Peak is going to be whistled for a charge. That was a good play in the paint by Jalen Cook to set his feet for Lexington and draw the charge, as LJ Peak was a little out of control driving into the lane.
Yeah, and the refs, again, conferred with one another, and I like to see that.
I love to see that,
Even
yes.
if it takes them a moment to get the correct call, it's nice to know that they have worked it out and have talked it over and are in some agreement. So even if you end up with 2 officials, one each, giving you a different call, they talk it over and they come to a decision as to which way the call will go. But I believe in that instance, both officials had the same call, and they were just making sure that they both had the charge call. That's what it was.
Fans, remember, this is the opening night of the Weekend of Champions. We've got 6 championship games on deck for you tomorrow, only on the SCHSL network. Driving in is McDermott as he splits the defenders. Ball will go out of bounds, but Lexington will maintain possession.
We had a foul call on Gaffney there, Birch.
So that will send McDermott to the line as you look in at Bailey Harris with the towel over the shoulder. Knocks down the first one. Bailey Harris, also the cross-country coach for Lexington, has won some state championships in cross-country.
Won it this year, yeah.
Second shot by McDermott is true. And we're tied again, 26-26.
Tied for the 5th time.
LJ Peak finds Quinshad Davis at the free throw line. Now over to T. Hardy. His shot is not there, but the follow through by Quinshad Davis is good. And Gaffney reclaims the lead, 28-26. Shaq Rowland, right-handed dribble, being guarded by Michael Wright. Over to Kiat, far sideline. Now McDermott launches a 3 and lands. Sam McDermott snapping the net from downtown, and Lexington has the lead. Another lead change. It's 29-28.
I've got 6 lead changes tonight to go with those 5 ties.
The crowd is certainly into it. Hanging J by LJ Peak, not there. And we've got a whistle and a foul. Gaffney wanting to get some player substitutions onto the court. They will here in just a moment. Quinshad Davis will go to the line. Not sure who the foul was signaled on for the Lexington Wildcats.
And that foul was on Shaq Rowland, so Quinshad Davis back at the line here.
I believe that's Shaq's 3rd foul. I know he had 2 in the first half. As Kiat checks out for Lexington. Back in for the Wildcats, Nigel Gates. For Gaffney, we've got Keenan Littlejohn and Kobe McDowell coming back. And
blood drawn for the first time this championship weekend. Might not be the last, Birch. The intensity really picks up in the second half. Both these teams have practiced hard, worked hard all year, battled through the regular season, a region schedule, had to win 4 playoff games to get to this point. And, kids not going to worry about it getting their head butted or scratches and scrapes and bruises. Man, they want to win that championship. They want that championship medal. They want to take the trophy back to their school.
Quinshad Davis hammers down both free throws. Good-looking free throw shooter is Quinshad Davis. Minute 35 remaining. Here in the third, Gaffney leading 30-29. And another whistle. This one over on the far side on the inbounds.
Yeah, you got to reach in here on Kobe McDowell, and certainly not a necessary foul, but I think this is part of Coach Huff's game plan to pick up the pace, and McDowell's just being a little bit more aggressive than he might otherwise be.
Jack Edelson will run point on this trip down for the Wildcats, being guarded by T. Hardy. Shaq Rowland looking for help, can't find it. Now Jalen Cook comes over for the assist. Cook spinning in the lane, left-hander, yes! What a move, Jalen Cook.
And how about the performance by Jalen Cook, the senior from Lexington, coming off the bench and really infusing some life, some energy into this Lexington ball club.
Kobe McDowell. The junior, 5'11", for Gaffney. We'll push it off, bottom of your screen, now back to McDowell, and over to Wright. Lexington remains in that man-to-man. McDowell wants a three, splashes out, and Shaq Rowland is there for the rebound. Almost had it taken away by Michael Wright, but Rowland able to hang on. 27 seconds remaining here in the third period in a closely contested Class 4A South Carolina High School Basketball State Championship. Shaq Rowland looks at the clock. Wants to set the play. Right-handed dribble for Rowland. Trying to pick up the screen. Rowland drives in, hangs up a left-hander. No, but he's fouled in the process with 3 seconds remaining.
And that ball just did dance off of the rim. Great play there by Rowland to work to his left, kiss it off the glass. Just couldn't get it to drop, but free throws coming up here with Lexington leading by 1. But Lexington will have to defend. 3.3 seconds left in the quarter. That's plenty of time for Gaffney to get it down and get a shot off before the end of the period.
Rowland knocks down the first.
How about this? If Rowland can knock down this foul shot, it'll be Gaffney's largest lead, 3 points. Neither team is led by more than 5.
Defensive substitution now for Lexington as Maverick Bishop checks in. Kiot ready to file on to the court as well.
Nip and tuck, as advertised, a great matchup tonight. Let's see what Gaffney can do in the closing seconds of the quarter.
3-point Lexington lead. Wright launches up a long ball. And that's the buzzer. The third period comes to the close. We've got the final stanza coming up. Keep it right here. You don't want to miss this one, folks. What a ball game here on the SCHSL Network.
Tyler Ryan here with some Breaks for Less math. You know, some guys are going to give you a 2-wheel brake job. It's going to be about $200. At Breaks for Less, you get brakes on 4 wheels for $99. Let me add this up. A $99 4-wheel brake job is twice the work for half the money. That is the kind of math that just makes sense. Breaks for Less is the only way to stop.
Breaks for Less, 6 locations, including Irmo and Lexington. Ladies, come in on Wednesday and get 20% off. Call 254-STOP.
This is Regine. Her parents taught her about success and the power of a dream. Regine chose Virginia College for cosmetology and got the skills she needed to start her own client list. Today, Regine owns an award-winning hair salon and helps others realize the power of their dreams. Sometimes, success starts when the lessons that change you help you change the world. Virginia College, your success starts here. Call or visit vc.edu.
Unlike a bank, Safe Federal Credit Union never pistol whipped a hermit crab. Unlike a bank, Safe has defeated Chuck Norris in hand-to-beard combat. Almost. Unlike a bank, Safe smells like chocolate. But most importantly, Safe is not for profit and member-owned, so you get lower fees, better rates, more services, and you get to keep more of your money. Unlike a bank. Experience Safe Federal Credit Union, where my membership matters.
What excites me is the opportunity to take the skills I have and to give back to my community.
I care about sparking an interest in science, technology, engineering, and math with the children of today.
It's about stimulating innovation, even in children that don't think they like math or science.
So we get them hands-on, and it's like brains are going. I can almost guarantee you they're thinking way differently about science after we were done with them.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
We're back for the final 8 minutes of play here in Columbia. What a game. Lexington leading by 3, 33-30. Birch, Antley, Emerson Phillips, Stacy Huff back with you. Our leading scorer in this game right now for Gaffney, leading all scorers, is Quinshaw Davis with 13. LJ Peak has 11. Leading scorers for Lexington, Edelson and Rowland, both with 8. Emerson, final 8 minutes here, and I think this could be anybody's ball game.
I believe you're right, Birch.
As this pass is going to sail over the timeline into back court.
So the
pace, it's going to be Lexington basketball.
The pace really picked up in that third quarter, and you know, Coach Huff from Gaffney came out of the locker room at halftime saying he preferred a faster pace, and it actually ended up in Lexington extending its halftime lead from 1 point to 3. So you would have thought that Lexington probably would prefer a half-court game, but you know, they seem to do well with a faster pace also. So the scoring really picked up in the third, but I imagine it will slow back down here in the fourth.
So McDermott being guarded by Peak. Now over to Edelson. Edelson has had a heck of a ball game. Coming in to start this game, replacing the injured Joby Glimpf. McDermott driving in, right-hander, no. Rebound coming in, Nigel Gates, and he has his shot off the mark, and the rebound goes down to Gaffney. Michael Wright over to Quinshaw Davis. Davis drifting right, now kicks it out to LJ Peak. He wants a 3, no. Rebound, Edelson. LJ Peak has taken several long-distance shots. He's connected on one. As he is guarding Shaq Rowland now. Senior on sophomore. Rowland drives in, left-hander, yes! And put him on the line!
Boy.
Whoa! Shaq Rowland, fearless in the lane. And just a little dipsy-do. This is a thing to remember.
Watch him blow right by LJ Peak and then leaned away from Quinshaw Davis just enough to draw the block on Davis, and a 3-point play chance here for Shaq Rowland, the future Gamecock.
Drops it in and completes the trifecta, and Rowland with 11 points now in this ball game. Between the leg dribble for T. Hardy out to LJ Peak. And Lexington leading by 6 now, 36-30, and Mark Huff wants a timeout. And the Lexington Wildcat fans are going bonkers right now here in the Colonial Life Arena. And Mark Huff, that is a good timeout to call right there, Emerson Phillips.
Sure enough, Lexington with his largest lead now, 6 points. So you get the timeout, you try to stem the tide at this point here. Birch, it was 15-14 Lexington at halftime. And then Lexington outscored Gaffney 18-16 in the third quarter alone. So we really did pick up the pace of play and the scoring.
Let's go down to Stacy Huff. Stacy.
Right here with Commissioner Jerome Singleton from the High School League. Talk about this game being on the World Wide Web, going across the entire world.
Absolutely, Stacey. This is fantastic. We got it showing on the internet all across the world, and everybody's allowed to see this. And it shows what we're doing in South Carolina. But also, we got it on live television here in South Carolina. Very proud of it. I'm very proud for our schools, very proud for our memberships, and very proud of these young athletes that are showing the great sportsmanship.
Exactly. Speaking of that sportsmanship, it's been exemplified in a hard-fought game right now.
Absolutely. As close as this game is, you see that these kids are keeping their composure, and the lessons that they've learned throughout the season, they're still instituting that for us. Sportsmanship being the top part of it. Fight this game as hard as you can, go as hard as you can, but at the very end, it's just a game.
That's right. Commissioner Jerome Singleton, High School League. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, Stacy Huff. Always great to hear from Jerome Singleton, the commissioner of the South Carolina High School League. He and his staff are to be commended for everything they do, especially for putting on this weekend of champions after putting on some big-time events in Florence and Greenville and in Anderson a week ago for the state wrestling championships.
That's exactly right. We had a great time last weekend up in Greenville. I know you were very well received by the High School League at the Florence Civic Center last week, and that's the case every year here at the Colonial Life Arena. And I'd like to reiterate, what a great opportunity it is for us, Birch, just to be a part of everything that the High School League Network has going nowadays. We're covering spring sports, winter sports, fall sports. We've got pretty much everything covered at this point. So Here's Jalen Cook up at the foul line for Lexington, and I really can't say enough about what Jalen has brought to the table for Lexington tonight. I've got him with 8 points off the bench, and here he earns a trip to the foul line, missed the first foul
and
shot.
Has had some really good defensive plays as well. Folks, be sure to get your DVD copy of this championship and others by checking out our extensive DVD library at SCHSL.TV. We also have available the upper and lower state championships from a week ago. That's SCHSL.TV. A nice bucket there by Gaffney's Kerry Williams. And Coach Mark Huff said before the game he would like to see Kerry Williams get into the mix offensively, and he does right there. And it is 36-34, just a 2-point game with 5 minutes to play. Lexington working around the perimeter. McDermott wants a three, and he got it! Sam McDermott! Another big three-point bomb by the 6'3" senior. Now Quinshaw Davis, a little floater right there. Good answer by Gaffney.
Now Gaffney setting up their press here, but they're going to drop back and allow Lexington to bring it up. They'll pick up at half court.
McDermott being watched by Peak. Now over to Jalen Cook over there, far sideline, top of your screen. 3-point Lexington lead, 39-36, 4.5 minutes to play for the 4A state championship. Nice little behind the back dribble there by Shaq Rowland. Rowland driving in, goes into traffic, hangs and bangs. Shaq Rowland.
Boy, I'm talking way up off the floor, Birch Antley.
Little hanger there for Gaffney, and I believe that was Little John. Good little answer there. It was Tiandre Smith who just checked in. Well, let's find out what Coach Mark Huff likes so much about this year's version of the Gaffney Indians and coaching high school basketball.
Well, I love the game of basketball, and I love the competition. I love to be able to think I'm going to take my guys, and I'm going to practice them, and I'm going to try to form them and mold them, and I'm going to take them and play them against somebody else's guys. So just the competing part of it. And then also to be able to think, hopefully I can have a positive influence on them and touch them in some way that on down the road they'll look back and think that playing basketball at Gaffney High School was a good thing. It was a positive part of their life. They learned some life lessons. They learned how to be a productive citizen in society. They learned that teamwork is important, to pull for each other, to have somebody's back, those type of things. And just being around young people, it keeps me young and makes me, I'm 52 years old, and people say you don't look anywhere close to that, and I take that as a compliment, but I think just being around young people as much time as I am, helps me in my daily life and helps me stay young also.
Well, I tell you, as we hear from Mark Huff, Shaq Rowland is putting the Lexington Wildcats on his back here in the second half, Emerson.
Yes, sir. We're at the home of the Gamecocks tonight, and this fourth quarter has turned into the Shaq Rowland show. Of course, we still got 3:50 left, Birch. We have settled nothing at this point, but Rowland really elevating his play in quarter number 4.
As he completes the three-point play, making the score 44-38. Gaffney trying to find an answer. Wright pushes in, then pulls out. Goes low post to Williams. And we've got a foul as Williams drew the contact. I believe that was on Jalen Cook for Lexington. Indeed it is. 3.5 minutes left to play in this ball game, and Lexington leading 44-38 over the Gaffney Indians. But Williams on the line. As you look at Bailey Harris,
shooting 1-1 here, Kerry Williams. And Williams, according to Coach Huff, is a real bulldog. This guy is tenacious. He gets after the hustle type of player. A kid that started at right tackle on that Gaffney football team last year. And Coach Huff said he's probably the most improved player on the team. Really asserted himself as a post player that Gaffney could depend on during work last summer. So Williams played very well last weekend in Gaffney also, Birch.
We're starting to get to this point in the ballgame where neither team can afford to leave points on the charity line. We just saw Williams go 1 for 2 there. Edelson the left-handed dribble. Now Cook kicks it out, Shaq Rowland. Davis on Rowland. As Rowland drifts to his left. As Nigel Gates over to McDermott. McDermott has had a couple of big three-point shots in this ball game. But here in the fourth period, Shaq Rowland has really come alive. Rowland driving in, hangs and bangs. Shaq Rowland, he is lethal here tonight.
Shaq Rowland getting into the paint and flying high tonight, Birch. Boy, he really has got an incredible vertical.
Oh, great answer there by L.J. Peak. Coming in, near sideline, working the baseline, and putting up a nice little right-handed runner off the dribble. That's a good-looking play by L.J. Peak, the 6'4 sophomore. You know, Gaffney is answering every punch that Lexington throws, but Lexington just keeps throwing those uppercuts.
And there's Rowland pulling up about 6 feet out and teardropping that one in. Peak answering on the other end. Wonderful athletes in this game tonight. We've been talking about it, looking forward to it all week. You know, Birch, it's interesting that Gaffney is 22-5, and they beat Irmo, that last year's state champions, by 1 point in the third round of these playoffs. And Irmo beat Lexington twice during the regular year this year. Lexington's 25-5, and they had been beaten twice by Irmo, but Gaffney beat Irmo in the third round by that scant margin of 1 point, and that's what has helped set up this Gaffney-Lexington state championship, a rematch of the 2010 game, which Gaffney won 71-57. That was
Gaffney
2 years ago.
Going crazy over there on their side of the court as we look in on the Lexington cheerleaders. Just a 5-point ball game. It's a Wildcat advantage, 2:32 remaining. Possession arrow goes to Lexington. This one still plenty of time. Could be anybody's game. This one, I suspect, going right down to the wire. Lexington on the inbounds. Jalen Cook. Little bounce pass over to Nigel Gates. Gates cross court to Shaq Rowland. Lexington wants to simmer down the pace a little bit. Take the boiling water off the stove for a moment. Jalen Cook saw a little opening but decided against it. Now it's Edelson over there, far corner.
Look at Lexington, share the basketball.
And they're moving it around wonderfully. They take time off the clock. Well, no look pass there by Shaq Rowland.
They don't have to shoot here, Birch.
No.
They're going to wait for Lexington. Yeah, Lexington will wait for Gaffney to foul, and there it is with 1:44 to play. That gives you an idea of the discipline of this Bailey Harris ball club.
Yeah, and that shows that Bailey Harris knows that his players trust him and that they will react like he wants them to. When he says, let's slow it down, he knows that his team can do that. Excellent ball movement. And McDermott is a heck of a free throw shooter. He nails the first. And it's a 6-point Lexington lead with 1:44 remaining.
Birch, we're seeing a little bit of everything tonight. You know, two very storied programs, proud schools, outstanding coaches, future college athletes, and fine students in this game as well.
There's Williams inside, draws the foul, could not get the shot to fall down. That would have been a huge answer for Gaffney.
Right, that's what you don't want.
You've got to make your free throws here, Emerson.
What you don't want if you're Lexington is to foul and give up a three-point play. If you give up that bucket, so be it, but don't foul.
And
so
it
now,
stops the clock.
Williams at the line here. Just missed 1 and 1. I'm sorry, made the front end and missed the back end. So he's 2 for 3 up the line, Kerry Williams. Gaffney still in this thing, Birch. 1:36, a long time in high school round ball.
47-42. Make it 47-43. 1:35 remaining. Lexington on the inbound. Shaq Rowland loses it. Gaffney comes up with it. L.J. Peak driving in. L.J. Peak has it. What a turnaround.
Timeout, Gaffney. Mark Hoff exploded off of the bench after Peak scored that bucket on the turnover and got the timeout call. 2-point ball game.
Let's go down and catch up with Bailey Harris and ask him what he likes so much about coaching high school basketball.
Actually, probably the part I like best about coaching is after the fact. The relationships you build with the kids, and you see kids coming back from 20 years ago or 5 years ago, and seeing how they've turned out in life. That's probably my favorite part. Now I love the X and O preparing for it, and I'm a competitor that wants to win everything I play. But and I love all that part of it. So I guess there's a lot of facets of coaching I really like. But if I had to pick one thing, it's the after the fact, after this group of 9 seniors graduate, seeing how they do in college and seeing what kind of dads they become and how productive they are in society, and hoping that somehow they're being part of Lexington basketball, help them be a little better person along the way. That's my favorite part of coaching.
47-45, a big swing there by the Gaffney Indians. A minute, 24 seconds remaining. Emerson.
Shaq Rowland, our leading scorer, with 18 points, 10 of those coming here in the fourth quarter. Peak with 17, and Quinshaw Davis with 15 for the Gaffney Indians. 2-point ball game, Bert Jantley. 124 for the state championship.
Nervous energy here in the Colonial Life Arena. These fans on their feet, student bodies for Gaffney and Lexington really into this game. L.J. Peak with a big takeaway. L.J. Peak on the inbounds, in the presence of mind, Emerson, to call the timeout.
Yeah, the timeout may have come from the Gaffney bench, but Peak stole the inbound and tight-roped the inline to stay in bounds. I'm not sure if he got the timeout call, if it came from the bench. But watch, look at it. Inches from the inline there.
He got it. He got the timeout.
He got it himself. Yes, he did. So
10th grader.
Boy, you know, this is a 5-point ball game just a moment ago, and it's been cut to 2. And now Gaffney's got the basketball back.
Well, I'll tell you, fans, this is one of those that you want to add to your collection. We've got DVD copies available. Check out SCHSL.tv if you want to go ahead and place your order now, because this is going to be a popular item, this championship game right here. Look at those Gaffney Indian cheerleaders going crazy, 47-45. What a turn of events here in the last few seconds. Emerson, is the Gaffney Indians could possibly go on a 6-0 run right here.
Yeah, the press that Gaffney utilized forced 2 turnovers in a row, and the steal by Peak on that inbound with barely enough room to stay in bounds. Just an incredible play. And, you know, we've seen Rowland make plays at the other end for Lexington, and now L.J. Peak stepping up for Gaffney. Again, Birch, we have still not settled anything here with 1:22 left. Great ball game tonight. We're not done yet.
All right, Kobe McDowell inbounds, flings it out to Davis, who shoots it over to L.J. Peak. If you're Gaffney, you just want a good look at the basket. L.J. Peak fires into the paint. McDowell.
Great defense.
Smothered by Lexington.
Gates and Cook combining for that stop right there. More good D by Gates.
Big play by Gates, but a tie-up and possession will go to Lexington.
That's big. That's as good as a steal right there, Birch. Alternate possession to Lexington. 2 big defensive plays by Nigel Gates, playing with swelling in the knee tonight, Birch. But he was not fazed by the knee injury. That's a big play right there to force the turnover and keep Lexington in the lead. Their lead had seemed tenuous at best after back-to-back turnovers right there.
Under a minute to play now, 58 seconds. It's a 2-point Wildcat lead. And it will be Lexington basketball if they can get the inbounds. And L.J. Peak stripped it away. Last time Lexington tried to get the ball inbounds. There's L.J. Peak, 17.6 here in the 4th period. And Lexington able to call the timeout as Shaq Rowland was trapped over there along the far sideline. Shaq Rowland, 18 points, and Emerson, 10 of those here in the 4th.
Yeah, and he's really hit some acrobatic shots in this 4th quarter. I'm talking about 3.5 feet up off the floor. This kid, his vertical leap is remarkable. He's listed at 6'2". I'm not sure he's quite that tall, but he's close. But, you know, the athleticism, the ability to jump and hang and still score the basketball from all sorts of contorted positions and angles is what sets Shaq Rowland apart. That's why he's the all-time scorer in Lexington history.
Hey, you're over the top. Go for the ball. Go for the steal. What's your tail right here? 5 seconds. Let's get this 5 second count. Hustle. Here we go.
So Coach Mark Huff wanting either the 5-second violation or a steal on the inbounds. As we listen in to the huddle, and this place is just going absolutely bananas here at the Colonial Life Arena. I mean, this atmosphere is something special. 55 seconds left in a 2-point ball game for the 4A state championship.
Yeah, we got to have 10,000 at the CLA tonight for this game, Birch. 10,000 in attendance.
Lexington able to get it in. And Wright, reach-in foul on Sam McDermott.
Quick foul by
one of two his last trip down.
Quick foul by Michael Wright right there. You know, we barely talked about Michael Wright as Lexington will move to the foul line here. Michael Wright is the ace of the Gaffney baseball pitching staff, and he's a Spartanburg Methodist baseball commitment. He played an outstanding game last week in Gaffney's win over Dorman. Big foul shots here for Sam McDermott.
McDermott knocks down the first. It's a 3-point Lexington lead.
Just a sea of blue shirts behind the Lexington goal here at the Colonial Life.
McDermott trying to make this a 2-possession game with 52 seconds left. Still plenty of time. Gaffney with timeouts to spare.
That's clutch.
McDermott makes them both, and now McDowell will take it into front court. LJ Peak finds Williams underneath, and Williams banks it in. 41 seconds left. Back to a 2-point Lexington lead. Shaq Rowland trying to get it across, and I believe we're going to get a whistle on LJ Peak reaching in. I think he got the left elbow of Shaq Rowland. Stops the clock with 35 seconds left. Back to a 2-point game. Lexington leading 49-47.
Double bonus for Lexington, so it'll be 2 shots for Shaq Rowland, and we have 8 fouls on Lexington with 35.1 seconds to play.
Rowland drains the first. He'll have another as Wright checks back onto the court for Gaffney. Rowland will try to make this a 2-possession ball game. And it rims out. Still a 1-possession game with 33 seconds left. It's a 3-point Lexington lead. McDowell floating right. Takes a look. Now over to Wright, near sideline. Wright can't find anything open. 21 seconds left. Over to McDowell. McDowell. And we've got a foul away from McDowell. This one on Lexington. Davis is fouled, and that stops the clock with 17 points. And that is just what Mark Huff wants right there. A stoppage of the clock and a chance for Quinshaw Davis, who is an excellent free throw shooter, to go to the line.
You know, I think Quinshaw Davis was about to break free and might have had a dunk, and Rowland grabbed him. I'm not sure what happened right there, but Rowland committed the foul away from the ball, and this is a 1-1 for the future North Carolina Tar Heel who will play football in Chapel Hill beginning next year. Quinshaw Davis.
Kiot checks onto the court for Lexington. Davis's first shot, nothing but net.
Davis, the Gatorade Football Player of the Year in South Carolina, first team Sports Illustrated All-American for high school football. Now, 4.1 grade point average to boot, Birch.
If he misses, keep an eye on the rebound. He misses. Wright is there, but then stripped away, and I think Wright was fouled by Shaq Rowland. He was. Wow.
It'll be Gaffney's ball. I don't believe it's a foul. I believe they ruled Rowland in possession, but he was out of bounds.
So that's exactly what Gaffney wanted to draw up there with 15 seconds left, trailing by 2. Kind of a semi-miss on purpose by Quinshaw Davis. Wright hustling in for the rebound. Rowland scrapping with him for it. But Rowland was on the baseline, out of bounds, Emerson.
Yeah, and, you know, Wright had two hands on that ball, too. They could have ruled it joint possession, which would have been a jump ball call, in which case the ball would have belonged to Gaffney on the alternate possession. But the ruling on the court was that Rowland had it and was out of bounds.
15 seconds left in this ball game. They try to work it inside, and Lexington takes it away. Will they call jump ball? No, it is Lexington basketball with 12 seconds to go. Gaffney could not handle the inbounds. They tried to go in the post to Williams or Davis, Emerson, and kind of a low feed. And Gaffney unable to pick up the loose ball, but still 12 seconds left.
They couldn't handle the pass, so Keot had it, and I agreed with the timeout call. The Lexington bench went bananas trying to get the timeout call when they saw that Keot had possession of the ball, so they got the timeout call. I thought it was good work by the officiating crew, and now we'll get a listen in to both huddles.
You can't run the baseline this time. Okay? Don't throw it under the bucket now.
Birch, I heard him say you can't run the baseline and don't throw it under the bucket. That's all I heard.
50-48, Lexington in the lead with 12 seconds left. Gaffney can still stop the clock. They have some timeouts in their pocket. Now, Emerson, let's set the scene here for you. Gaffney, if you're Mark Huff, obviously you're trying to prevent them from getting across the timeline. Well, you want to go for an inbound steal? Or
you're going for the steal
seconds?
or you foul right away. Yeah. You know, there's so little time left. They will have to foul right away if they can't come up with the steal in the first couple of 3 seconds. You don't want to let it run down to 4 seconds or 3 seconds because Lexington can hit foul shots and make it a two-possession game.
And Lexington is going to try their best to inbounds to McDermott. He is their best free throw shooter. Timeout called by Edelson. We'll draw up another play.
Right, and use all those timeouts if you're Lexington. We'll see if we can get a count on how many. Okay, looks like one timeout. Okay, that was Lexington's final timeout. So both teams are now out of timeout. So here's Birch, going back to what you were talking about, is an opportunity for Gaffney to get that 5-second call perhaps, or steal the inbound pass, which we've already seen L.J. Peak do once in this fourth quarter.
Don't be face. All right, you're off the ball now. You get him.
Both teams, head coaches in the huddle.
If it's got to be inbound, it's wrong. Get in St. John's and find
just kind of going over the scenarios here for the last moments. 12 seconds left in this game. A 2-point Lexington lead. Possession arrow will go to Gaffney on the alternate.
Yeah, both teams are in the double bonus, Birch. You can cut the tension in this building with a knife right now.
Sam McDermott will inbounds for Lexington. Gets it into Shaq Rowland, and Rowland is immediately fouled by Quinshad Davis. Stops the clock with 10 seconds. Now, these free throws are crucial for Lexington and Shaq Rowland.
Absolutely, Birch. So, real simple at this point. If they make one of two, it's a three-point game. Three-pointer can tie it. If Rowland makes them both, Gaffney is between a rock and a hard place, down 4. They would have to run it down, score, then foul again with only a handful of seconds left. Or, the other side is if Rowland misses them both, Gaffney can force overtime with a 2 or win it possibly at the buzzer with a 3-pointer. So lots of options, lots of possibilities still left for this game with 10 seconds to play.
Tiandre Smith checks in, number 32 for Gaffney. Rowland's first shot, no. He pinged it off the back rim. And regardless, it will be a one-possession game now. Rowland's second shot, not there. Now Gaffney, a three-pointer would win, two-pointer would tie. L.J. Peak taking it down the far side, and he is fouled by Rowland. 7 seconds left.
Well, that's exactly what you didn't want if you're Lexington. You don't want to put them on the line. I think you want Gaffney to fight and earn a bucket to tie the game,
and that might be Rowland's 5th foul.
I believe it is, and Rowland obviously frustrated with missing the foul shots. I think that's why it was a little
huge if this game goes into overtime.
which it very well could at this point. You know, if Peak makes both these foul shots and Lexington is not able to score on the other end, we're looking at some free basketball tonight. And you're right, that would be huge if Roland is out of the game with 5 fouls.
Clutch situation. A sophomore on the line. LJ Peak. Dips down, puts it up, nails it. It's a 1-point Lexington lead. State championship on the line. And LJ Peak, if he can make this one, we've got a tie game with 7 seconds left. Peak ties it up with 7 seconds on the clock. McDermott, 5 seconds left, crosses the timeline. 3, McDermott drives in, puts up a shot. No, tip in, no, we're going to overtime. Free basketball in the Colonial Life Arena, and Nigel Gates just went down hard for Lexington on the court, clutching that knee. We said that he had some issues with that knee coming into this ball game. We'll have to keep our eyes on that, but we are going to overtime as LJ Peak, the sophomore, drains a pair of free throws. And then Lexington, a chance with the last shot, but McDermott's did not fall. And we're going to overtime here on the SCHSL network. Emerson, this one has been everything it was billed to be.
Boy, you know, it's just shocking. Lexington had a 5-point lead, minute and a half or so left, and they had consecutive turnovers. A great play by Peak to come up with a steal. And Gaffney made the plays over the final 90 seconds of this game to put it into overtime. Roland had 2 foul shots to make it at least a 3-point game. And then he committed the foul to put Peak at the line, which enabled Gaffney to tie it up. So,
and Roland has fouled out.
Roland is out with 5 fouls. So now Lexington's playing without its all-time leading scorer, certainly one of their best ball handlers. And, you know, I don't know who they go to for offense at this point. Roland had 10 of his 18 points in the fourth quarter, and he was the offense for Lexington in the fourth.
I think you look at Jalen Cook, you look at McDermott, you look at Edelson. As Gates is helped off the court, and he appears that it's not a serious injury. And that's a good sign. We'll put 4 minutes on the clock for overtime. It's a 50-50 score. We are in an extra frame here in Columbia, South Carolina. Birch, Antley, Emerson Phillips with you, and courtside, Stacy Huff. As Lexington had the lead with the final 30 seconds, but then Gaffney closing the gap. They put a sophomore on the line with 7 seconds left, and he drops in both shots under pressure to tie this game.
10th grader did that, LJ Peak. So now we put 4 minutes on the clock. Cook will jump it off with Keenan Littlejohn.
Jalen Cook, 6'1", Littlejohn, 6'4". Both are seniors. And now Sam McDermott cramping up for Lexington, and he is going to have to come off the court. And I was just about to say, Emerson, as we head into overtime, you know, that both of these teams have been going back and forth, back and forth. We've had numerous lead changes, numerous ties, and these young men have left everything out on the court. So I was going to say that, you know, in this overtime, it's going to come down to who is the most conditioned team and who has the most depth. They're ready to tip it away. Controlled by Lexington.
You're right, Birch. It's really turned into a battle of attrition, particularly for Lexington. Glimpf out with an injury. Nigel Gates goes down, and now McDermott cramping up just before the tip to start OT.
Jalen Cook kicks it out over to Grant Hendricks, who just checked in.
Blocking foul on Michael Wright from Gaffney.
Grant Hendricks is a junior, number 21. Foul called that will send Jalen Cook to the line. The senior for Lexington, as you look at Mark Huff, on that Gaffney bench. Jalen Cook at the free throw line on the floor for Lexington. Bush Brunson, Grant Hendricks, Ryan Kuatz.
I don't think Hendricks has played.
And Edelson.
It's Hendricks' first action tonight. He comes in overtime because Lexington is really depleted at this point.
So Cook puts Lexington back in the lead. 51-50. As he is shooting in to the student body from Lexington High School, so they're going to keep it quiet. And Cook knocks down the second. 2 big free throws for Cook. Kobe McDowell fires left side. Michael Wright thought about it just for a hair and decided against it. He's being guarded by Brunson. Wright pushes over to L.J. Peak. Now to McDowell. Man-to-man defense being shown by Lexington. L.J. Peak driving in. Shot is not there. Rebound fought for by Peak. He puts it up again. +1. L.J. Peak.
Right. You see with Gates out, Roland out, Lexington having a real problem keeping Gaffney off the glass. Peak able to drive in and draw the foul and score. And now here's Gates back into the game. That's good news for Lexington. But Peak, who just made a pair to put it into OT, now with a chance to knock down another foul shot and give Gaffney the lead here in overtime.
So 3 minutes, 12 seconds left. L.J. Peak back of the line trying to complete the trifecta. And he does. Smooth looking shot for L.J. Peak. And another lead change in this ball game as Gaffney has the 1-point advantage now. 53-52. Just over 3 minutes to play. Skip pass over to Jalen Cook. He'll float to the left and give off to Kuat. McDermott back into the game after shaking off the cramps. A little Charlie horse in his right leg. There's Jalen Cook drawing the foul. Remember, folks, Shaq Rowland, the Lexington superstar, all-time leading scorer for the Lexington Wildcats, is on the bench. He fouled out with 7 seconds left in regulation.
Now looks like Peak is fouled out for Gaffney.
So both of our superstars are on the bench. L.J. Peak for Gaffney. That's going to mean Quinshad Davis, you would think, will have to assume that mantle.
T. Hardy in for Gaffney.
Quinshad Davis still on the bench. He's not on the court. As L.J. Peak just fouling out with 2:48 left in overtime. So the leading scorers in this ball game will not return.
It's our 8th tie of the game, Birch. 53 all.
And Quinshad Davis has fouled out as well.
And that's 4 straight foul shots for Jalen Cook here in overtime. He's got all of Lexington points.
Yeah, so the leading scorers for Gaffney on the bench as they have fouled out. As I overlooked that Quinshad had fouled out as well. Kobe McDowell takes a look, little floater, drains it. Kobe McDowell. And another lead change in this ball game, Emerson.
Yeah, I've got 9 of those unofficially to go along with our 8 ties.
55-54, just over 2 minutes to play. And there's McDermott over there on the far sidelines.
Just an epic championship game. Here's the bucket by Kobe McDowell. Pulled in for about 12 feet, knocked it down, and back and forth we go, Birch. People are going to talk about this game for a long time.
2 minutes, 12 seconds left, so
Markov,
Brunson, Edelson, Jalen Cook, and Nigel Gates on the court right now for Lexington as they have possession.
Hoff going for state championship number 5 for himself. It'll be number 6 all-time for Gaffney. Bailey Harris trying to win his 3rd for Lexington.
Jalen Cook charges in, brings it back out. Over to Nigel Gates. Gates driving in, hangs up, blocked. Shot rejected, but kept alive. And Lexington maintains with under 2 minutes to go.
Littlejohn with the block shot.
Edelson picks up the screen from Brunson. And now Jalen Cook driving in, puts up a right-handed leaner, no. But he was fouled in the process, and he'll go to the line.
Oh boy,
40.
The Lexington student section would have erupted had Jalen Cook dropped that in off the window. Knifed in on the right side. We'll get another look. He got a high screen from Edelson, and look at him shield himself. He kept the defender's arm from blocking that shot. And the Gaffney fans booing because Cook, made a heady play there and used his free arm to prevent that shot from possibly being blocked. But they got the foul on Gaffney. That's what the Gaffney fans were upset about.
Cook misses the first. Free throws are a premium now. And he misses the second. And the rebound collected by Littlejohn. Out of bounds off of Jalen Cook. So it will be Gaffney basketball as Littlejohn climbed the ladder to snatch the rebound.
Cook's been excellent at the line. He's made 4 straight to start the overtime. But if Lexington is not able to win tonight, Birch, they will not have very far to look to see where they lost this game. 2 missed foul shots in the closing seconds of regulation, and now 2 in a row missed here in overtime.
Littlejohn at the line, knocks it in as he was fouled on the other end by Jalen Cook going for the rebound. So Littlejohn can make this a 3-point Gaffney lead if he drills the free throw. Misses, and Lexington comes down with a rebound. That's Gates.
Huge rebound, Nigel Gates. Lexington had to have it, and he's wincing in pain as he moves back down the floor. But he's given Lexington everything he's got tonight, Birch. Now he's going to get some foul shots here, and Lexington can tie it up, but Gates will have to make them both.
Minute 35 left. Lexington can tie it here at the free throw line with Nigel Gates. He's a junior. This is the first shot. Substitution is Quan West checks back in for Lexington, 6'4" senior. As he takes the place of Brunson. Here's the second. Gates drops it in. So 1-point Gaffney lead here with a minute 33.
Now Lexington will have to force a turnover or eventually foul.
Wright being guarded by Jalen Cook. Hands off to Kobe McDowell.
Certainly wouldn't expect Gaffney to look to put a shot up here. They got the lead in the ball.
Williams will toss it over, far sideline. Now McDowell drifting to his left to the bottom of your screen, gives off to Wright. Gaffney working the clock here with the 1-point lead. He's trying to play keep away. Got to wonder if Lexington is going to try to foul soon.
Huff got the timeout from the Gaffney bench.
So a timeout on the floor by Mark Huff. Let's give you a game reset. It is 56-55, Gaffney leading. Possession arrow goes to Gaffney. 51 seconds left. This has been a well of a championship basketball game here for the 4A crown. Gaffney and Lexington, a rematch of the 2010 state championship. We've seen great coaching, excellent action on the court. And let's listen in to Mark Huff's huddle. Well, there you have it. A huddle of Mark Huff as Bailey Harris looks on from the Lexington sidelines. Quinshon Davis and LJ Peak have fouled out for Gaffney. They're two leading scorers. Shaq Rowland fouled out in regulation for the Lexington Wildcats.
Interesting. Ron Best is back in the game. He saw limited action in the first half.
Cross-court pass. Handled by Hardy. Hardy bottled up over there, but gets it out to Best. Now back to McDowell. McDowell is fouled by Edelson with 33 seconds remaining. So Edelson sends McDowell to the line. Free throws are huge right now. It's an understatement. 1-point Gaffney lead. And the junior at the line misses the first. Hendricks will check back in for Lexington.
All right.
Keenan Littlejohn returns to the court for Gaffney. DeAndre Smith looking to check in for the Indians. Second shot is there for McDowell. It is a 2-point Gaffney lead now, 57-55.
You know, again, who does Lexington go to for points? I believe it might have to be Cook or possibly Gates, unless you can get Edelson or McDermott open for three.
McDermott not on the court right now. Hendricks for three. No. Rebound. Williams for Gaffney. And he is fouled with 19.8 seconds left. And Hendricks had the shot. He had a really good look at it. Just could not find the friendly rim. Hendricks had a really good looking shot on the three-pointer. Now Williams with a big trip to the free throw line here for the Gaffney Indians with 19 seconds left. And the junior Kerry Williams averaging 10 points, 5 rebounds a game.
It's the same situation. Same situation we had at the end of regulation, only it was the other way around. Lexington had a 2-point lead. They had Rowland at the line shooting 2. He missed them both. We'll see what Kerry Williams does.
Maverick Bishop checks in for Lexington. Here's Williams. First shot, knocks it down. 3-point Gaffney lead. He'll try to make it a 2-possession game. Williams, no. Still a 1-possession game.
I don't think you need to shoot a 3 here, Birch. You can, but you don't have to.
58-55. Lexington needs a 3-pointer to tie it with 8 seconds left. Now they're going to have to. Hendricks takes a look at the clock. Bailey Harris wants a timeout, and he gets it with 3 seconds left.
And you can tell Lexington is just, you know, they don't have an identity offensively with Rowland out. No Joby Glimp tonight due to injury. McDermott has been cramping up. He's missed the better part of overtime. I don't know that he's played in OT here, Bert. So Lexington just really in a tough spot here. But the good news is this game's not over, and they've got the basketball.
And all it takes is the 3-point shot that's ended in a double OT. And Lexington has possession. They will inbounds on their side of the court. 3 seconds left. If they can just get one quick, good look at the basket for a 3-point launch, we're going to double overtime.
Yeah, Bailey Harris trying to draw up the play to get Lexington the 3.
The most important thing right now for Lexington is the inbounds pass, Emerson.
Well, you know, the most important thing is for Gaffney not to foul. If Lexington hits a 3 right here and forces double overtime, you tip your hat to them. You come out and play 4 more minutes. But what you don't do is foul a 3-point shooter and give Lexington a chance for the rare 4-point play or 3 foul shots, which could put the game in overtime. Gaffney will defend, but not foul.
Well, the house is rocking here in Columbia. Lexington with a chance. They trail by 3. They need a 3-pointer.
McDermott's back in for Lexington. He's number 4.
Edelson will inbounds. Gets it to McDermott. Turns. Launches. No. That's it. The Gaffney Indians win it in overtime. For the second time in 3 years, the Gaffney Indians are your 4A state champions as they win one of the most exciting games in South Carolina high school basketball history. knocking off Lexington in overtime, 58-55. Your 2012 state champs are the Gaffney Indians, and another ring for Mark Huff.
That's 5 for Mark Huff, 6 all-time for Gaffney High School boys basketball. What an epic matchup tonight between two storied programs. Birch, we talked about the great players, the terrific head coaching matchup, and it really just was as exciting as you could have hoped for. An overtime thriller for the 4A state championship, and it belongs to Gaffney.
What an exciting game here as the Gaffney Indians win it in the extra frame, defeating Lexington. The Wildcats had a look on the last shot. McDermott, who had just checked in, had been cramping up, couldn't make it. We're going to go to break. This is the SCHSL Network.
This is number 3. Brandon
Look at the
Burkholder.
flip pass. Here comes Lee. Lee, one-on-one. Fire scores.
From the acute angle. David Frazier.
Championship point, Del Toro. That's it. Hillcrest wins. It is Sanders. Sanders pulling away, showing his speed.
For all the best in South Carolina High School League Championship action, both live and on demand, your destination is SCHSL.TV.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program and participate in the SCHSL network, go to SCHSL.TV/SBP.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you. One shot.
Welcome back to Columbia. Let's go courtside where Stacy Huff is standing by. Stacy.
With a jubilant coach, Mark Huff, Gaffney Indians, another championship coach. Talk about it.
I tell you, this is wonderful. I tell you, it's outstanding for these guys, for our seniors. We had 6 football players that lost the state championship in football, and we talked about that before the playoffs started. They had another chance to win another state championship. I'm happy for them, but I'm just happy for our whole team.
Thank you, Coach Mark Huff. Congratulations. The Gaffney Indians, 2012 4A boys basketball champions.
Thank you very much, Stacy. The Gaffney Indians, led by their super sophomore LJ Peak. He poured in 23 points, 5 rebounds. Quinshad Davis, 16 points, 9 rebounds for Gaffney. For Lexington, Shaq Rowland, 21 points, 4 rebounds. And Sam McDermott, 11 points, 2 rebounds, and a steal. And congratulations to Lexington. They are the lower state champions, the runners-up here in 2012. You know, they wanted to take the crown, but what an exciting game in overtime.
Let's not forget that.
Yeah, let's go down to the public address announcer and get the introductions.
Number 24, Nigel Gates. Number 32, Tony Backham. Number 33, Trey Carson. Number 34, Bush Brunson. Number 40, Ryan Quate. Number 44, Taquan West. Coach Bailey Harris, assistant coaches, managers, and presenting the trophy for your state runner-up, Commissioner of the South Carolina High School League, Mr. Jerome Singleton. I present to you your state runners-up, the Lexington Wildcats. Presenting the awards for Gaffney will be Interim Superintendent Carlotta Reddish, Principal Marlene Davis, Alan Wright, Eric Blanton, David Smith, Amanda Moss, Donnie Littlejohn, Sarita Green, Assistant Principals, Billy Blackman, Alan McIntyre, Board Members. Number 10, L.J. Peak. Number 11, Kobe McDowell. Number 12, T. Hardy. Number 14, Quashad Davis. Number 15, Keenan Littlejohn. Number 20, Zach Smith. Number 22, Michael Wright. Number 23, O'Brien Davison. Number 24, Ryan Bess. Number 31, Kerry Williams. Number 32, DeAndre T. Smith. Number 34, Quan Weeks. Coach Mark Huff, assistant coaches, managers. Presenting your South Carolina High School League State Champions, Commissioner Jerome Singleton, to your 2012 State Champion, Gaffney.
Well, the Gaffney Indians are your 2012 state champions as they win a thriller in overtime here in Columbia. They finished the year with a 23-5 record, defeating Lexington 58-55. Well, folks, thanks so much for joining us here on the SCHSL Network. For our entire crew, for Stacy Huff, for Emerson Phillips, I am Bert Chantley, reminding you to buy a DVD of this championship. Check out the website at SCHSL.TV, and that's going to do it for us from Columbia, as Gaffney will win the 2012 State Basketball Championships. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.
Tyler Ryan here with some Breaks for Less math. You know, some guys are going to give you a two-wheel brake job. It's going to be about $200. At Breaks for Less, you get brakes on 4 wheels for $99. Let me add this up. A $99 four-wheel brake job is twice the work for half the money. That is the kind of math that just makes sense. Breaks for Less is the only way to stop.
Breaks for Less. 6